Hi there, my name is Amy Schultz and I'm a speech language pathologist, or an SLP for short. And as an SLP, I have children who are having trouble communicating. My favorite way to do that is during play-based activities. That means I take children's speech and language goals and I build them into play with games and toys. Primarily, my primary reason that I prefer that is that it helps children with generalization, which means that children are able to take those new skills and abilities and use it in the rest of their lives. They're able to use it while talking to their parents at the dinner table, while talking with their friends and playing, and at school. Now, I've been a speech language pathologist for about a decade. I had everything working and under control when COVID hits. And suddenly I was doing all my treatment online, which I'd never done before. I was converting all my treatment materials to digital, and I was struggling to find a way to do play-based activities online when the children and I were in different rooms. I didn't know what toys they had. I couldn't figure out what targets to use with those toys ahead of time. It was rough. It was rough for all of us. But that's the biggest part that was rough for me. And here we are. It's been about 16 months since the pandemic's hit. And I've tried a lot of different things. And the app I found that's the most helpful for me with play-based activities is called Toca Life World. And in this video, I'm going to show you some of the basics of how to use it and how to use it specifically to target irregular past tense verbs. So let's switch over to my iPad view so you can see what I'm talking about. So of course, the first thing you're going to need to do is go to the App Store so that you can download Toca Life World. I'm going to type in Toca and see it's already up on the second one there. Once it opens and I click this open button, you'll see that it is #1 in education. It is the most popular app in education and children really enjoy it. And then down here you can see that there's a lot of different purchases you can use within the app. They're kind of like expansion packs or add-ons, but the app itself is free, and everything I'm going to show you today is a part of the free version of the app. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on the open button. Here's the loading screen that you'll see throughout the game, and here is the main menu for the game. There's a lot of buttons here, but the ones we need to pay attention to really are the green one with the little shopping cart. That's where you can go to buy more add-ons or expansions to the app, and then the little blue play button. Let's go ahead and press that one and let it load into the main part of the world here. This is the main part of the free world. You see all the buildings that are bouncing are buildings that we can actually touch, and then it'll go into those buildings. And now if we swipe over to the left, here's the neighborhood. So these are each different houses that I have built. If we press this little hammer button down here at the bottom, this will show you places where you can build new buildings, which are the little blue pluses. The red X's are buildings I've already built that you can press that red X to demolish it. We're not going to demolish one, but let's go ahead and build a house to use as an office space. And the one I'm going to use is the one that's free. That's this one here. So for a long time, I was using this one as my office, and I would call it my office for the kids. And then I'd set up a room for each of my different targets. And now here is our beautiful office space. Let's go ahead and touch it to load into the office space. Here it comes. And here you see we have parts that have already been put in for us, like this radio. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the blue chair button, and that's going to open up the editing part. Now all of the furniture that has the white outline are ones that I can move now that it's open, and I'm just going to pick them all up and dump them into this trash can here. Now I can still buy them back if I want them later, but I don't really need a bathroom in my office. I don't really need a kitchen, and I find these radios to be really distracting, so let's get rid of that too. Now to edit the walls and the floor, I'm going to click on this little paint roller up here on the top. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to find one I think is part of the free version, which I think is this white flooring. And I'm going to click on the wallpaper part here, and I know for sure that a part of the free version is the cloud wallpaper, so let's use that. And then let's grab my favorite color, purple, and add that into the wall over here. Now the way that I'm using this, once I find the color that I want, is I click on it, I touch it, and I bring it over, and if it's not where I want it, I just move it over to the next place, and when it is where I want it, I let it go. So now let's see, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and exit out, and we'll go over to, oh wait, there's one more thing before we go. So if I touch on the sun here, if I touch it, it'll change to night, and if I touch the moon, it'll change to day. So if you ever find yourself accidentally during nighttime, now you know how to fix it back. The next button we need to pay attention to is the one on the upper left over here. It is the door, the little orange circle door button. That's the button we need to move to other parts of the Toca Life World. So let's go ahead and touch that button, and we'll go to the loading screen. We'll load back out into the neighborhood, swipe over to the left, and here we're back at the main part of the world. And the first place we're going to need to go is the supermarket. All right, here is the grocery portion of the supermarket, and I'm going to start first by pressing this yellow button on the bottom right with the people on it. If I press that, that'll bring up all the characters, and the character I'm pulling out here is the one I made to look like myself. I call it Toca Miss Amy. And I'm going to grab a bag for her because we have a lot of things we need to grab. The first thing we need to grab for our regular past tense verbs is this carton of orange juice up here. And let's grab some seeds for the tomatoes. Now we have another couple things we need to get, but I do need to show you that the way to move a character from room to room is to pick up that character. I usually try to pick them up by their midsection, and you move them up against the edge of the screen, and that'll move you to the next room. If you don't have a character in your hand, so let me just put me down right here, you can touch the screen and move, and it'll move you side to side. But if you have a character, you got to pick them up and then move them against the side of the screen, and that'll move you to the next room. Okay, so let's see, we need this cute little puppy right here. Let's grab him. Let's head over here. We also need this pink camera. And the way that I'm putting the items into the bag is to bring it up right in front of the opening and let it go, and it pops right in. It might take you a couple times to try it. It usually does for me. We also need this plane right here, and it's not going to fit in that bag, so I'm going to get somebody to help me. I'm going to click on that yellow button with the people. I'm going to grab this girl here. She's going to help me. I'm going to put the plane in her hands, stick her back in there, and let's see, what else do we need? Let's grab this mask, this disguise here. I'm going to need that. I'm going to need this ball, but it also does not fit in that bag, so let me pull this girl out again, give her a free hand, give her this ball, and we got it. We're ready to go. Let's push on this orange door button again so that it will exit out of the supermarket. And I cut out a lot of the loading screens so we can just make this a little bit faster. I'm going to push on this button again. I'm going to pull out the Toca version of me and the soccer ball and the plane. Let's get this stuff organized. Okay, I go to the shelves here and then scroll down. I believe the shelves that are part of the free version are these white ones right here. And you'll see if I pull out the big one, the outline turns red, which means it's not going to fit there. So let's throw that in the trash and grab one of the medium ones. That'll fit. So let's grab a couple more. And I'm just touching these and dragging them to where I want them and then letting them go. You can always move them later if you don't like where they are. Now we can put the plane up and the soccer ball and all of the rest of our irregular past tense items, which we are going to need a couple more of. In fact, let's go to the chair here in the boxes. I'm going to scroll down, and I believe that this box is a part of the free version. We're going to need that to put all of our other items into. And let's also grab, while we're here and while I'm thinking about it, let's put a bed in here. I believe the free version bed is this gray one down here. Let's stick that in there while we're at it. And I think we're ready to head to another area. All right, I'm going to swipe over to the right again, and then I'm going to touch on this tall building here. It's an apartment. And this is going to look a little different than yours. One of the things that I did to help keep kids motivated and having fun with this game is I let the kids make Toca versions of themselves and choose a house. And so this little girl here is actually one of my Toca versions of my patients, and she chose this house to live in, but when you load yours, there'll be different kids in here. But we're going to swipe over to the right here, and I'm going to grab this pot to take back to my office. Okay, let's hit that button with the door again. And now our last stop is going to be the post office right here. And once it loads, you'll see that the post office is manned not by a person, but by a crumpet. This little guy here is called a crumpet. His name is Snippet. Let's see, let's find me. We're gonna need me, and we're gonna need Snippet, who usually sits up here, and here's his little bathroom, and if you scroll over, here's his scooter, and then we're gonna need Snippet and his scooter, so we're gonna put them together, pick them up, put them in this box, and go back to the loading screen. Here we are back in the office. I'm gonna pull back up Toca Miss Amy, pull out the pot and Snippet with his scooter, and put Snippet and the dog in the bed. Oops, if I can. Just missed the spot. Let me pick him back up again and put him right in the center. And now you can see that he's actually sleeping. His eyes are closed, and some little Z's will start to come out of his face to show that he's sleeping. And I just missed it before, but I can always pick him up again. I'm back in the little button with the chair, and I'm going through here. I'm trying to find, oh, you know what? We can just use this box over here. Let's use this box, and we'll go to the chair, and we'll find the food. And we'll scroll down, and we need some heads of lettuce. And I'm gonna grab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you'll see that I put in just one too many. If I put it right in front of the box and try to put it in, it bumps, and that shows me that that box is full. So we can just throw away that extra head of lettuce. And the last thing we need will be right where this car is, and you won't have to scroll through nearly as much because you're not going to spend an embarrassing amount of money that I've spent on this, and grab the watering can. Okay, let's see here. All right, and now we're ready to work on some irregular past tense verbs. So when the screen loads, the children will see this, and I'll say things like, oh, look, the dog is sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. I'll take him off the bed. What did he do? If the child can just say he slept, perfect, we got it. If they need a little bit of help, I'll say, is it he sleeped? If they need a little bit more help, I'll say, is it he slept or he sleeped? And if they need the most help, I'll tell them, say he slept. But for those kids who need maximal support, I'll usually be using flashcards first. Now let's take Snippet and put him on his scooter, and he's going to drive and drive and drive. What did he do? Next, I'm going to take the disguise, and I'm going to wear it and wear it and wear it. And what did I do with that disguise? Next, I'm going to take some of these tomato seeds, and I'm going to plant one and grab the watering can. And oh, let me just tell you real quick. The way to put the seed into the pot is by holding it right over it, and the seed will pop out. And now I'm going to take the watering can and hold it right over it, and you see how it's dipping? So it's growing and growing and growing. What did it do? Now I can pick a tomato, and it's very important I put this in my hand or on the floor. I also need a head of lettuce. If they're not in my hand or on the floor, it's not going to work. But if I put them together, what did I do? I made a salad. Now I can take this salad and I can feed it to Snippet and ask, what did I do with the salad? Next, I can grab the ball and I can throw it and ask, what did I do with the ball? And then I can grab this orange juice, and if you remember a glass, it'll be a little more sanitary, but I can ask, what did I do with the orange juice? I can grab the camera, and if I touch the camera, it'll actually take a photo, and I can ask, what did I do? Is it I taked a photo? And then last but not least, I can take the airplane and make it fly and fly and fly, and then ask, what did the airplane do? There you have it. There are 10 different targets for regular past tense verbs with the free version of Toca Life World. Now, if you ever see any other tutorial videos where they're not actually showing themselves and they're just using the Toca characters, they'll move the characters around like this to make it look like they're talking. I'll do it here just for the fun of it. Now, what we have left is we have this bag over here. Let's grab that. And if I push that little chair on the upper right, you'll see that it actually disappeared with me. When you go into that mode, people disappear and anything that's in their hands will disappear too. But I'll take it out of the hands, take it up and throw it away, and I'll actually show you what happens when you throw things away that don't come from the store. If they come from the store, you can just open that store back up again, that little blue chair button, and just rebuy it. It doesn't actually cost any money. There's no in-game money. But if you throw it away, you can see it respawns right here. All right then, there are some ideas of different objects from Toca Life World that you can use to target irregular past tense verbs. There are objects you can also use to target irregular plurals, regular past tense verbs, articulation, narratives, and social skills, which is what I'm going to talk about in my next tutorial. Specifically, I'm going to talk about how to use Toca Life World to help children read emotions, inference the cause of those emotions, and then problem solve some solutions for the social situations that are causing those emotions. I hope that this video was helpful for just someone during this struggling time that we're all going through, and thank you for watching.